Okay, so here's the slide out mechanisms I got. I got 3 of these. They're Norco AccuSlide. I've never used anything like this before, but this gentleman I was telling you about doing that MC9 in Florida, that's what he's used, and it's worked out really nice for him, so thought I'd give him a try. First thing I noticed is these chains are way too short. This is a 36-inch slide, so these chains aren't any more than 24 inches long, so I'll have to get longer chains, longer cables, but that's okay. I'll just get some stainless. I can get stainless aircraft cable, so I'll do that. And it's just, you know, it won't work as is anyways. This is works off of 4 points, well actually 8 points, because 4 points in, 4 points out. I'm not going to do that, so I'll end up using a bunch of the pulleys, the motor, and you know, these adjustment doodads here, and make it all work. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is do this slide first, the main big slide on the driver's side at the front. I'll do that slide first, and if it'll work that one, it'll work all of them. So I'm going to do this one first, and then if it doesn't do that, then I may go back to the hydraulics for this. It'll definitely work for the bedroom slide, but if it you know, if it doesn't have enough power or whatever for these slides, then I'll go back to the hydraulics for these. But hopefully it'll work, and I've got I'm optimistic. I think they probably will. He said that you know, they work really well. So it looks like a nightmare at the moment. 4 cables on each side, 8 cables total, pulleys going everywhere. But I watched a video on YouTube on it, and from Norco, and it's actually pretty simple. It's just a matter of getting all the cables going in the right direction, and so these chain, you know, as it pulls one side in, the other side goes out, and the same on the other side. So the chain, you know, the chain just runs around this sprocket and pulls it in and out. So I mean, it is actually pretty simple. It's just a matter of getting it all in there and wrapping your head around it. And I'll go up inside here and kind of explain what I'm planning on here. Okay, so these are my slide channels, and you know, if I was going to go this route, originally I'd have done this on the bench before I got this in here, but there's still enough room to do it. So I'm going to cut a slot 1 3/4 wide between those 2 chalk marks. And then I'm going to put 1 anchor point on on that slide bar there that the slide's attached to, and then I'll have a pulley down this side that it'll, you know, turn 180 degrees, come back to this end, and I'm going to have the slide motors down in the old air conditioning box, so they'll be easy to maintain. They've also got they have a flexible drive. You can just stick a drill on them and run them in and out if you're you know, for whatever reason the electric motor packs it in or whatever. So I'm just going to go and I'll put a bracket across between these 2 here to mount the pulleys to, and go down through the floor here, and I'll go back outside again. And this is the old AC condenser compartment. There's the grill on the door that used to be on there. The air conditioning condenser is gone already. Took that out last fall. And all the motor and fan motor and whatnot, all the rest of this stuff, I don't need any of that, so I'm going to pull it all out. And then on that back bulkhead, back by those blue dryers. I'll mount the motors and have the cables go up through the floor there. So it should be fairly easy to service it. And yeah, that's the plan. Now I just have to make it happen. Anyways, yeah. So it's a long weekend this weekend again, so I have 3 days starting, no, not tomorrow, I gotta work tomorrow, but Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So I'll try and have at least this one done this weekend. See how that goes. I think I can do it. Said that before though. Anyways, so more later. Okay, so there's I don't know if you can really see it there, but there's the first slot cut. You can see the chalk marks right in the front there. That's where I'll put the mount, and it'll just slide back and forth in that channel. And then that's the first one, and then I'll do I did that tonight, and I'll put another one in this one. So I'll have one in each, and then get the cables all put together. So Pops is busy stripping down the slide outs mechanisms here down to the components we're going to use, and I'm just getting ready to cut the slot in the second channel here, right in here, and then we'll start assembling it all. Okay, so there's so much crap in the way here, I don't know how much you can see, but here's my anchor point on the slide. I'll go back to that pulley block back there, and it'll come forward, and the one to pull it the other way, that'll go there. So I'll film that once that's done. Putting it down in this other bay where I was going to down here is not going to work. There's not enough. I need a minimum of 42 inches for all the hardware and chain and all that kind of stuff. There just isn't that much in there, so I'm going to have to run it across, and I'll have there's a spot. Hang on a second. So there's a spot here behind the door and into this opening here that I am going to mount these. So somehow or other, I'm not sure yet, but probably just like that. And have the cables just go under the frame there and out, and then I'll have them mounted with this end out, and that center piece there that's right in the center there, that's where you can drive them with a drill or whatever to run them out if the motor packs it in. So I'll just have them have a door on here that opens up, and then they'll be just right here, and if the guy needs to, you can service them, or unbolt them, take them out of there, and whatever you need to do. Anyways, they'll be easy to access anyhow. And yeah, so these pulleys are going to be a little bit tricky to get all in here and lined up and everything, but just going to take a little bit of time. So I'll just continue doing this as I go. Alright, so I'm a little bit farther along here now. I'm just got the pulleys in for one side. There's the pulleys on the one side there. I've just got string run through it now for, oh, there we go. Just got string running through it now for for lining everything up. So that's that one, and then now I got to start on this other one. I got the rear two pulleys in on this one, but nothing at the other end, so I'll start on that next. Hopefully I can have this thing, it's Sunday afternoon now, and hopefully I can have this thing running for tomorrow afternoon. We'll see. It's a lot of pulleys. Well, here's where I got to yesterday. Just got to get the hang on. Now to get some pulleys down in here and get it across to the other side. That's proving to be a bit of a challenge. I'm beginning to think that a hydraulic cylinder would have been a hell of a lot easier. But I'm into it this far, so continue seeing if I can make it work. I'm going to be using 20 pulleys to get this thing all working, and I still don't really even know if it's going to, you know, until I actually do it. I don't know whether this thing's going to have enough power to pull it in or not. I'm hoping it does. You know, these things, if they're used the way they're built and designed and everything, they look like they'd be great. But when you got to redesign the whole thing, it's it's a bit of a challenge. And I can't use it the way, just because of the way I've designed and built these slide outs, that you know, I can't use them the way they're designed, so I have to re-engineer the whole thing. So hopefully I can make it work. Anyways, I'm going to continue on with it today and see how it all goes. Okay, so Dad and I have just been talking about this, and this is it's just getting way too complicated. There's to get this to work, I'm going to have 20 pulleys. Got 9 more to go down underneath there, where you can't see there, to get it come across, and it's just way too complicated. And that's just one slide. Then I got to have the second slide here. I got to do the same thing, which would be fine, but I'm running out of space to run all the pulleys and cables and whatnot. So I think I'm just going to go back to the hydraulic cylinder idea for, it'll be so simple compared to this, for these two slides, and I'll just pull all this off and I'll use it for the rear slide. It'll work perfectly fine for the bedroom, because it's anyways, it'll work fine for the bedroom, but this is just way too complicated, and the potential for something to screw up is just too great. You know, if the cable jumps off any one of these pulleys, you're hooped. They're all going to be under the floor, so they're going to be very difficult to service them. Like I said before, if you can use them where they're designed, you know, to go in each corner of the slide out and have the motor up top, it'll be perfectly fine. It'll work like a charm. But under the floor like that, when you got to redesign the whole thing, it's just I don't think it's worth the hassle. So I'm just going to yank them all out and use it for the back one. 2 days to build it, 15 minutes to tear it all apart. That's what you call an experiment. I'll just leave all that part in there. It's not hurting anything. Not going to do anything, go anywhere. And I'll use all this for the rear slide in the bedroom. It'll work fine for that. Pops his hair in the dash apart, pulling the steering column out, and we'll get rid of the seat after that, so we can start working on up there. Heater's got to come out too. Okay, so I've taken all the pulleys and whatnot that I had put together for the front slide and moved them back to the bedroom one here. It's going to work just fine here. Tried for the longest time to keep it down on the bed, you know, under the bed frame. But there just isn't enough room, enough length for the chain. Same problem with the front. It's just not enough length there. For a 30-inch slide, you need a minimum of 60 inches of chain, and actually more than that. And I've got it's just 60 inches across the bed frame here, and you know, as it slides in and out, there just wasn't enough room. So I'm going to do it the way, very similar to the way they are designed to use, and have the pulley up above the motor and pulleys and chain and everything up above the bed. You know, it's 9 feet across there, lots of room there, and then just pulley and down to here. So I got one pulley in the center. This one's going to go to the rear, and that'll pull the slide out, and this pulley goes the opposite direction up into there, and that'll pull it shut. These pulleys cross each other anyways, and yeah. So I've just got 2 more pulleys to make up. The one mounted on this side. I need one directly below it here, same as the other side, and then one in that corner. Got that one made up already. I just have to mount it. And the other corner pulley will go, let's see, how's it going to go? Right about there, like that. And then I'm going to mount the motor in the center up there, right just ahead of that bowl. It's about center of the slide, and then I'll be able to put 3 feet of chain on each side, and should work good. So started this on Sunday, haven't been able to get out. Ow! Ouch! Haven't been able to get out here again till it's Thursday now, so Thursday night. So I'm just starting to work away at it a little bit here now. So keep on going. Okay, so I'm just starting to string all the cables here. Got one side on, down across there. That pulley, the eye bolt there, another eye bolt here. Just going to put that in now, and then same thing on the other side. I'm just stringing the cables, chain, whatnot. I'm only using one chain, or I mean one cable for each direction on each side rather than 2. So I took the paraphernalia that they had out, and I just put an eye bolt into their setup there, and I'll just use that, because otherwise it'd be, anyways, it'd be unbalanced, because it would only be working off one side of that adjuster that they have. So anyways, yeah. And Dad's been busy up in the driver's compartment here, tearing all the old dash out, all the wiring harness. Gonna take all the factory wiring harness, everything out of here. Just have it just an empty box down there, and and we'll start wiring from there. I'll use a painless wiring system. Get a 21 circuit painless wiring harness for street rods, and then I will just add circuits to that as I need it for other circuits that the factory or that one doesn't have, like for Jake brake and my fuel shut off and that kind of stuff. It's not in the painless harness. I'll run circuits for that. And we're going to pull this with the old that dash box out of there. Steering column's out now. So I'll do the same as what I did in the other bus and put an R&M dash in it, fiberglass, and then fill it full of Stewart Warner gauges. I've got 12 gauges in the other bus. And aftermarket tilt steering column, and all that. So I'll put that in here and get rid of the dimmer switch down on the floor there, and put its on the end of the signal light lever, and all the modern type stuff. So Dad's in the process of just stripping all this out of here, and once that's done, then we'll start rewiring. Fun stuff. There's like a bazillion circuits in there that you don't need anymore because it's all the bus stuff. So I mean, we just simplify just down to what we actually need, and that's it. Anyways, continue on. Okay, so this is all set up, needs a few adjustments, a couple of little tweaks, but it all works. So Pop's just going to run it in and out while I film it. Okay, yep, go ahead. Okay, you want to run it back out? Need a little lubrication, I think so.
What do you figure it's speaking?
It's the guides. There's no oil or nothing on the guides. Guides are all dry. So, all right, there you go. Slide out works.